place. Now everybody stand up.
Are you ready?
Stand up. Let's get our feet away.
Can you make your friends stand up?
Are you ready? We're going to do this 2 times. 2 little feet go tap, tap, tap. 2 little hands go tap, tap, tap. 1 little body twirls around. 1 little body sits right down. One more time, up you go. A little bit faster this time. Are you ready? 2 little feet go tap, tap, tap. 2 little hands go tap, tap, tap. 1 little body twirls around. 1 little body sits right down. Get your hands ready for open, shut them. You can sit down and do this one. Open, shut them. Open, shut them. Give a little clap, clap, clap. Open, shut them. Open, shut them. Put them in your lap, lap, lap. One more time. Open, shut them. Open, shut them. Give a little clap, clap, clap. Open, shut them. Open, shut them. Put them in your lap, lap, lap. They're ready, Miss Michelle.
We're ready. Does anybody remember who we talked about last week? What were they? Who knows? Lucy, do you know?
Mm-hmm.
What are they called?
Police officers.
Well, they're friends of police officers. They use a water hose and they put out fires. What are those guys called?
Firemen.
Firemen, right? And let me see. We talked about, because Jonah wasn't here, so we're going to give him a little review of what we missed, right? What do we do if there's a fire and it gets us on us? Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
We go stop, we drop, and then we roll until we get that fire out or somebody comes to help us, right? So Jonah, if the fire gets on you, we go stop. That means you don't move around because the fire will move faster if you're moving around. And then we drop, we get down on the ground, and then we roll around and we try to squish out that fire, okay? Until like Mom or Aunt Megan can get to you, okay? So that was one thing we worked on. Another thing we talked about was if we need help, who do we call?
911.
Lucy says 911. Did anybody practice with their phone? Did you make your phone?
Mm-hmm.
You made your phone?
Uh-huh.
And did you go 911?
Yes.
And then you said, hello, I have an emergency, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of emergency did you practice that you had?
A firefighter.
You practiced,
Fire.
you had a fire. So you told the dispatcher, we have a fire, right? And in your bag last week, there were some other things in there, things you should learn so you can tell that dispatcher, right? Should we be able to tell the dispatcher our name, right? Everybody knows her name. I'm Michelle. What's your name?
Lucy.
What's your name? Jonah. What's your name?
Malcolm.
Malcolm. How many people worked on learning their address? That means where your house is.
Is 3. 9.
Very good. Good job. So we got to work on our address because that's important. So that way dispatch can send help to your house. How many people know what color their house is? Mine's brown. What color's your house, Malcolm?
White.
White. Jonah, what color's your house?
It's white.
It's white. What about yours?
Brown.
Brown. So those two have white houses and you and I have brown houses. That is something that's important to be able to tell them. Your phone number if they need to call to your house.
house.
You have a yellow house?
We have the low house.
Ah. So your phone number is another thing we need to know. And we need to be able to tell them what is wrong at our house. Why do we need help? Lucy said she practiced that there was a fire at her house. And so those are things that we need to be able to tell the dispatcher. And maybe your parents' names, because if I say Mom and Dad, and Malcolm says Mom and Dad, and Jonah says Mom and Dad, and Lucy says Mom and Dad, there's a lot of moms and dads. It doesn't give us any unique name, does it? So those are some things we worked on last week. And we read a story called A to Z Firefighters last week.
My parents are out, but my daddy's at work and my mom's at school.
Your mom's at school and daddy's at work.
And my brother's at school.
And your brother's at school. So everybody is away from home at this time, right? Okay, so here's a little poem that we can do. It says, stop, drop, and roll. If my clothes should catch on fire, stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll. I can put the fire out. I can put the fire out. Stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll. So you're going to find that in your bag, and you can practice it some more. The more you do it, the more instant it will become for you if something happens. And then this little story says, firefighters. Firefighters wear big red hats, climb up ladders to rescue cats. Did you know that? Ride big trucks with big black tires. Use big hoses to spray out fires.
I know that.
Race when they hear fire alarms to help keep people safe from harm. So that helps us remember all the things that firefighters do. And you'll find that in your little bag. Now the book we have today is called Stop, Drop, and Roll. And it's by Marjorie Kyler and it's illustrated by Arthur Howard. And I want to say it, Simon & Schuster has given us permission to read this book today. So we thank them for that. It says Jessica. Jessica was a worrier. She worried morning, noon, and night. Look at her eyes. They're all buggy, aren't they? She worried about her spelling homework and learning new steps in ballet class and remembering to fill her dog's water dish and waking up in time for school. But one Monday morning in October, Jessica's teacher gave her something new to worry about. It's Fire Prevention Week, explained Mr. Martin. So for the next few days, we're going to talk about fire safety. Oh, groaned Jessica. And this Friday, Mr. Martin continued, we've been asked to share what we've learned with the entire school. Oh no, moaned Jessica. Let's begin with smoke alarms, said Mr. Martin. Your home should have them on every floor. Automatic fire sprinklers are a good idea too. How many of you have smoke alarms in your house? Mrs. Cole has smoke alarms in her house. Sometimes when dinner gets too far gone, it goes off. Then we call it the dinner bell. Smoke alarms, sprinklers. Jessica had never seen either of them in her house. Your family should also have escape plans. We talked about that last week, didn't we? In case of fire, said Mr. Martin, and fire drills so everyone knows what to do. Jessica chewed her pencil in half and escape plans, and now she was really worried. That night, Jessica announced, there's a big problem in this house. We have no smoke alarms and no sprinkler system. We don't even have an escape plan. If there was a fire, we'd be in trouble. Her mother puckered her forehead. I remember buying smoke alarms. I guess we never got around to putting them up. We talked about finding someone to put in sprinklers, said Dad, but we're always too busy to make an appointment. And what about extra batteries for alarms? Reminded Laura. Yeah, said Tom, we need to keep more batteries around here. Jessica twisted her napkin. She knew the real reason Tom wanted more batteries. His birthday was in 3 days and he wanted batteries for his presents. But fire safety was more important than birthday toys, wasn't it? We've got to do something about this now, warned Jessica. You're right, said Mom. After dinner, we'll make escape plans and find those smoke alarms. And tomorrow, I'll get extra batteries and make arrangements for a sprinkler system, said Dad. But Jessica still felt too worried to sleep. She tossed and turned all night. The next day, Mr. Martin wrote some fire safety rules on the blackboard. Never play with lighters or matches. Do we play with matches?
I never play with matches.
That's good. Keep electric heaters at least 3 feet away from things that can burn.
I don't like matches or
No.
birds. Yeah.
Those are for adults, aren't they? Those are for adults to use. Keep extension cords away from doorways and from being pinched by furniture. A professional should check the chimneys and furnaces of your homes every year. Mr. Martin went on, and Jessica had to cover her ears. She'd never be able to remember so many things. At dinner, Jessica said, have we ever had our chimney checked? Yes, when we bought the house. But Mr. Martin said it should be checked every year, said Jessica. The furnace, too. Dad sighed. I'll put them on my list of things to do. But that didn't stop Jessica from worrying. She went through the entire house checking cords and smoke alarm batteries, and she had another sleepless night, imagining all the things that could go wrong. Well, on Wednesday, Mr. Martin had even more safety rules. Do you think there are a lot of rules? Yeah, I think there are a lot of rules. Heat makes smoke rise, and we talked about that last week. So if you're in a fire, you must crawl under the smoke. We talked about that, remember? Where the air is cleaner. And when you reach a door, touch it. And if it feels cool, you can open it. But if it's hot, do we open it?
No.
No. If the door's warm, don't open it. Find a window and call for help. Then wait for a firefighter to come and tell you what to do. And there's one more very important thing you need to know, Mr. Martin said. If your clothes catch on fire, stop what you're doing. Drop to the ground and roll over and over until you smother the flames. And we talked about that, didn't we? Catch fire? Jessica had never been so worried in her life. Lucy, do you know what this says? Stop, drop, roll. Let's say it 3 times. So let's do like Mr. Martin says. Can we say it 3 times? Stop, drop, roll. Stop, drop, roll. Stop, drop, roll. Good job. You guys know it. The class is all learning it. All except Jessica. She's so worried. When Jessica got home, she made her family have a fire drill. That's not a bad idea. Then she rechecked all the electrical cords and tested the batteries and all the smoke alarms and made double sure there was no matches lying around. Afterward, Jessica felt a little better, but she still couldn't get Mr. Martin's word out of the class right. She kept saying, stop, slop, and troll. Is that right? Slop, trop, and troll? Does that sound right? No. What about mop, pop, and bowl? That doesn't sound right either. And she just kept getting them all confused. And then Mr. Martin said, no, it's stop, drop, and roll. And at the next day, he asked Jessica to demonstrate it at the assembly on Friday. And all she could think of was stop, flop, and roll. Flop, mop, and stroll. Stop, pop, and hole. I think she's got them all confused, doesn't she? She practiced all the way home on the bus. She worried about the assembly at her brother's birthday, and she still couldn't get the words right. Because of all her muttering, she didn't even notice when Mom brought in the cake. It had 7 big candles on it. 6 were for Tom's 6th birthday, and 1 was for him to wish on. And just as Tom leaned over to blow them out, Jessica looked up and saw fire, and she said, stop, drop, and roll. She got it right, didn't she? Immediately, Tom stopped blowing and he dropped to the floor. And then he rolled and he rolled until... But Tom wasn't on fire, was he? What was on fire? The candles on the cake. Dad says, that's a false alarm. Hugh said, Mom, you gave us a scare. I'm sorry, but I thought. Dad says, you thought quickly. That's good because it's better to be safe than sorry. Besides, added Laura, you finally said it right. And that was the truth. Jessica had said the words right, and now that she was confident she'd never forget any of the fire safety rules she learned that week. And you know what? She never did. And when the assembly came around, what did she say? Stop, drop, and roll. Do you think Jessica will remember them now? I think she will. Well, let's see. We've got a few things in our bag today. There's some projects in there for you. There are some pipe cleaners just for fun. I know some of you really like pipe cleaners, so maybe you can come up with something fun to do with those. There is a pencil with a surprise. So take it home and write with your pencil, and maybe next week you can tell me what the surprise is. There's a little book in here called Fire Safety, and it says stop, drop, and roll. And you can color the pictures, and then you can read it and practice, okay? And then, there's a book in here for you. This isn't about fire safety, and they all have different books in them, so I don't know which one you'll get, but this one has Baby Panda in it. So you have another book to read. There's a treat in there. There are, oh my goodness. There's our poem we talked about, firefighters wearing big red hats and stop, drop, and roll. There's some construction paper in here for you to make something. I don't know what it will be. Maybe Malcolm will make another truck. What do you think?
What?
Do you think you might make a truck?
I don't know how to make a truck.
Well, there's 4 different colors in there. They do look like fireman colors. We have black, red, orange, and yellow. So see what you can come up with out of that. There's some worksheets in here. Some counting, numbers. There's a firefighter to color. I know you had a puppet in there last week. This one's a little different, so maybe you can have 2 puppets that can work together to put out fires. There is some cards in here to help you identify fire safety things that you can cut apart and maybe play a game with it. When moms and dads or grandpas and grandmas pull a card out, you tell them what it is.
Look at
Or come up with your own game.
Look at
Mucho is doing stop, drop, and roll. Very good. There's a couple of things in here for moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas. Just some fun ideas for dramatic play about firefighting. Maybe give you some ideas there. There's something for Malcolm. Malcolm likes mazes. Now this right here is a puzzle. So what you do with it, it's a fire truck, isn't it? You cut it apart and then you take the strips and put it back together, okay? So that's in there for you to do. This is a fire truck, and you cut it out and make a couple cuts, and then you can glue it together, and you can have a fire truck to play with. So there's some things in there for you to make and things for you to do. Do you have to do them today? Do you have to do this whole bag today? No. You can make it last for a week, 2 weeks. You can make it last a long time. If you want to do everything today, that's up to you and your adult, but that's a lot to do in one day. Maybe you can space it out, but there's a lot of things in there for you to do. And you know what? I don't know. Wait, maybe you can use your pipe cleaners with your construction paper and make something cool that way. And use your special pencil with your construction paper. So those are our things that we have in our busy bag. Let's see where we are. Ooh, we're getting close. So we talked about 911 today. We refreshed ourselves about 911. We talked about stop, drop, and roll, right? Some things we can practice at home. But you know what? It's time for us to go already. Story hour or story time is gone just like that. So let's look up here on the wall and see what it says. It says, story time is over. Are you ready? Are you ready to go home? To go home. We had fun together, playing with each other. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. And then we've got, remember our finger thing we've got? Saying goodbye. The first little finger says, bye to my friends. The second little finger says, playtime ends. The third little finger asks if things are set to go. The fourth little finger says, remember things that I should know. The fifth little finger helps me wave bye-bye. And we'll be back next week, so please don't cry. Now, stack up your set-ons. What are those? Where's our set-ons? Lucy has red ones, Malcolm has red ones, and Jonah has yellow ones. So stack them up. It says, hi-ho, hi-ho. It's time for us to go. Put all things back, grab a busy bag sack. Hi-ho, 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 hi-ho. It's time for us to go. Put all things back, grab a busy bag sack. Hi-ho, hi-ho. And then finally, we want to remember that you may now check out some books if you'd like to, and that you need to grab your busy bag. But we also have to remember if we touch books and we don't take them home, we have to put them on the browsing table, right? So hopefully we'll see everybody next week, and then you tell me what you made with your construction paper this week. Maybe you'll make, I don't know, a truck. Maybe you'll make a animal of some kind. Maybe you'll make a house. I don't know.